Hi.
Yeah, I was just showing the BRICS Summit website, official website, which I think is helpful, and you guys can go to it and have a look. So I think I wanted to just show this. So this is a previous video that we done on the channel, starring Anastasia, of course, and it's called "First Look at Kazan Before Hosting the 2024 BRICS Summit." And it's really good. So I've just sort of just showing a little bit into it. I think that's a church. Is that right, Anastasia?
This is a mosque.
Oh, it's a mosque. Oh, okay, church, mosque. So yes, you can watch this video that we've done to get a bit of a flavour. It's only a couple of months ago, so hopefully you enjoy that.
Yeah, in April, to be precise.
Okay. So let me just doing buttons here. Sorry, please be patient with us. Sort of hosting and pressing buttons. You may be watching this episode because you are a subscriber to the channel, or maybe you were recommended to it by YouTube because it's related to your other viewing interests. If you aren't subscribed, please do, as you can stay up to date on our shows. So we're going to do a little bit of a summary of Think BRICS, because you may not be aware of everything that we've done, or as I say, you may have just been recommended the channel. So let me bring up this. This is our channel, okay? Please, again, subscribe. So we're going to do a little bit of a review and a summary of the Think BRICS channel, what we've been doing. We are quite unique in this space. So what we did is we did a poll on the channel today, which we're going to talk about. And we want to hear from you. We really want to hear from you as we go over the results and the topics. So please get right into the chat during the live stream to make your views and questions known. All right.
And
so
if you didn't vote, please vote on our poll. We are really interested to know the opinions and to know what you are interested in about BRICS, of course.
Yeah, about BRICS. That's all right. So you can see that I voted. I mean, this is my personal, what I think.
Me too.
But the poll was, sorry?
Me too. I voted the same.
Oh, you did? Oh, there you go. So we share that interest. Not that the other things aren't important to me. It's just that's the most important, I think, that proposal. So the poll was, today marks exactly 100 days until the BRICS Summit in Kazan 2024. Which proposal from the BRICS do you believe is the most important and urgent to implement? So the least votes was the BRICS partner format for expansion. So that was, instead of actual full membership, it was a different type of membership, so a partner format. The second least was the Grain Exchange for food independence. And then second place came the BRICS Parliament. That was the structure. If you hadn't heard, we'll go over that. But the first and the top was the BRICS Bridge, a new payment system. So let's start with the least.
Well, I don't know if maybe someone was surprised, like our director, for example, that he was surprised why people voted for BRICS Bridge, BRICS new payment system. But me personally, as I told, I voted for this one, and it was not surprising for me that new payment system will take the majority of votes, because this is the issue and the question of payments, money. This is what we are facing every day. This is our normal everyday life. And of course, when we come to talk about money, fundings, So we are get more involved, in my opinion. That's why.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, if I was going to go to Russia, which I intend to, by the way, that's my concern, is about how to pay for things. You know, here in a Western country, what we're hearing, so the sanctions, cut off from Visa and MasterCard. We're not going to get into this too much. I'm just sort of saying that it's an issue, and it's like, well, you know, how are they going to trade with sanctions, etc. So, to me, that seems to be more important. But I can see how other people would think the other things are more important or more urgent. So, but we want your ideas. You know, again, please comment. We're actually going to make this fairly interactive, this one, because usually we have experts on and we're asking questions and we're diving pretty deep. So, so let's start with the least votes, okay, which was the BRICS expansion announcement of a partner format. So rather than full, greetings, Tut Tut from France. Nice.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay. Yeah, so that was, you know, that instead of full membership, it was going to be a different type of membership. So we actually did a video about that as Anastasia, and it was called Sergei Lavrov's BRICS announcement. No new members for now. And Anastasia goes over that really well about, you know, what is that. So I recommend definitely watching that.
Yeah, because since the beginning of the year, there were a lot of buzz around who will be the next, who won't, who, if they will accept new members, how many, if any. So there were a lot of talks and speculations about new members. But as soon as Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of the Russian Federation, told that there will be no new members this year at least, because BRICS has already expanded, taking 5 new members, and it's a lot because basically they were 5, and then plus 5. So they need time to, how he told, to digest new entries, to implement them into the system, and to understand how to manage them, how to work together. Because when you're working, when you are 5, and when you're working, when you are 10, that's could have different approaches and cause difficulties. We know that. So
yeah, and they're very different.
That's why they proposed a new format, like partner countries. So maybe that's why when our viewers have seen that video you mentioned, Clive, they know that there will be no any expansion, and that's why it was not so much interesting for our audience to talk about.
Yeah. No, true.
So,
and I mean, those extra members, full members that we had make up BRICS Plus, I mean, they are quite diverse. I mean, we went to Africa. I mean, we had Saudi Arabia, which didn't actually join. Iran. I mean, these are very, how would I say? I mean, I don't want to be insulting, but these are countries that we don't hear about much. They probably have a very different type of economic system. The culture is quite different. So, yeah, I mean, they have different systems. I think Saudi Arabia is a monarchy, full-fledged monarchy. I mean, that's different. I don't know how you work with that. That would be interesting.
Is absolutely different.
Yeah, it's a theocracy.
Yeah. Then Egypt. Then
Egypt.
Ethiopia.
Yeah, Ethiopia. So that's Africa, and
very interesting. Yeah, and the last but not the least, Argentina, who later refused the invitation.
And that's a whole other topic, Argentina. I want to bag on. I'd like to bag on him, but I'm not going to. Because I think it's been actually it's fairly quiet in the last week or two about Argentina.
Do you think?
So
Well,
I don't know. But, you know, if you want to jump in, I'm trying to be a little bit provocative here too, because I want you guys to jump in and say what you want to say, you know, please. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So the second least votes was the proposal of an idea of a BRICS Grain Exchange. So
yeah, here I should say that the fact that this is only the idea, this is an idea. There is nothing firm to be discussed yet. Yes, this idea was got interest from the president of the Russian Federation, from other BRICS nations, but we should say it is still an idea. And if I may tell that, I was asking for an interview from the guy who announced that idea in front of the president, to the president, Putin. And he refused to comment on, just talking that he would not like to speculate about this idea until nothing firm to be discussed. As soon as there will be something real that we can see, so we are welcome. But as I say, this idea is very huge one and very good one.
So it's just a proposal. It's just an idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we hope that on the BRICS Summit in October in Kazan, there will be discussions about that, how to build this system, new BRICS exchange. Because we know that ministers of the agriculture of all BRICS countries met together a few weeks ago in Moscow, in Nizhny Novgorod, if I'm not mistaken. So, and there was a discussion about this issue as well. So we hope in October we will see what steps taken or will be taken towards implementing this system.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So that's exclusive, Anastasia. So you were talking to the guy that proposed?
He's a head of a Russian Grain Union Association. So Grain Exporters Union. So who proposed this idea?
Oh.
Just to defend themselves from the sanctions, I guess. So that's why let's see. Now the Ministry of Agriculture of the Russian Federation is in charge. So it's up to them. How fast, how, when it will be implemented.
I suspect as fast as possible that it goes well.
But at least it will take some time. We know that. It is not like tomorrow we open another grain exchange. It will take some few years, even 2 years. 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
And that's, again, this is the difference between us and other channels. We're going to tell you how it is. We're not going to say this is coming in a couple of months because we want you to like our videos, and we're going to tell you what the go is. And Anastasia has spoken to the guy that proposed it. So I'm just pointing that out, that, you know, we're not going to baffle you with bullshit.
Yeah, we are not about clickbait. We are trying to provide an information, just how it is.
Exactly. Yeah. So just to reiterate that, but we did a video on that only a few days ago, and it's called "Why BRICS Exchange Will Transform Global Food Trade: 7 Surprising Benefits." So I suggest you watch that, because we put a lot of effort. The producer puts a lot of effort into the research. Anastasia prepares and to deliver, proper content. And I think you'll really benefit from seeing that. And then maybe you can change your vote. I don't know if you can change your vote. I don't think you can. But you may want to. Okay, the next one. So the second highest votes. All right, let's go back. I'm clicking a lot of buttons here, bear with me. Okay, so the second highest votes was the BRICS Parliament structure. So they were talking about the structure of BRICS, and it was proposed as a parliament structure, which was a bit of a bomb.
It was an idea that President Putin expressed recently. So we did also a video about it. So it was his idea, his thought, that BRICS have no parliament institutionalized organization yet, but he is sure that in the nearest future it will have. So I don't know why people voted for BRICS Parliament. I don't know.
I did a little bit of research before on the parliamentary system, and it was very British oriented because of the origination from there. But we talked a little bit about it. It's interesting. I think, in my opinion, and this is the sort of thing we want to hear your opinion on, right? I thought it's a forum to discuss. Yes, okay, but usually parliaments are there. They have two, the upper house and lower house, and it's the lower house usually puts in laws, and then the upper house reviews those laws. So it's legislative. But in this case, we're assuming that's not the case, or maybe it is. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So now we see there are 10 countries, so there should be representatives from all countries. I don't know how they will be based on the population, the dimension. So there will be some voting system, I guess. This is not the easy question to reply, how it will be organized and when and then once again it was only an expression that Putin did.
I think it's good that he comes up with this, puts it into the public sphere, and then people talk about it. I reckon that's very positive. Just that alone is very good. But we've got a short clip from Sputnik of an interview with Konstantin Kosachev, Deputy Chairman of the Russian Federation Council, talking on the prospect of transforming the interparliamentary BRICS Forum into a full-fledged parliamentary assembly. So that's a little bit more specific. So the interparliamentary BRICS Forum into a full-fledged parliamentary assembly. So let's roll that clip.
Заключается в том, что здесь все решения вырабатываются и принимаются консенсусом, и мы не делаем никаких шагов вперед до тех пор, пока мы не понимаем всеобщей поддержки тех или иных предложений, либо инициатив. Вот с моей личной точки зрения, я знаю, что ее разделяют коллеги из Федерального собрания России. Конечно же, мы не должны откладывать в долгий ящик создание ассамблеи, полноценной парламентской ассамблеи БРИКС. Но если мы сразу возьмемся за решение этой задачи, мы, наверное, погрязнем в каких-то практических, организационных, процедурных проблемах. Поэтому есть промежуточный шаг, и мы будем предлагать его нашим коллегам. Это организация работы по образцу того, что сейчас, скажем, принято в АТПФ, Азиатско-Тихоокеанском парламентском форуме. Это еще не ассамблея, но это уже регулярный формат с сессиями каждый год, без секретариата, без членских взносов, но с предопределенной повесткой дня, с документами, резолюциями, которые готовятся. Мне этот опыт представляется перспективным, и я думаю, что мы к нему обязательно подойдем в ближайшее время.
There we go.
So, well, yeah, we see that as he told that they do not take any steps forward until consensus have got from other countries, from all countries. So as soon as something is decided and everyone is agree with, so they have this move. Then another step, it is discussed. This is, well, it takes a lot of time, in my opinion.
Sure.
So we should not expect this parliamentary assembly to be in few months. No, it's not possible.
I guess that sort of ties in with the BRICS membership restructuring. Potentially, that might be sort of part of that, so it doesn't overwhelm the structure they already have. I think actually these particular topics, or maybe our producer has actually done this intentionally, but these are all interrelated, but they're different subjects. But of course they're related because it's BRICS. I think it's a very interesting proposal. My first thought was actually that is not a good idea, right? Parliamentary system. Do we really want a parliamentary system? But
why it was why you had this idea?
Because Australia.
Because the world parliament seems something huge. That
it's slowly. Awful. It's the parliamentary system is racked by this two-party system, right? But it's the British Empire stuff, right? I live in Australia. I can tell you firsthand, right? So when I talk about this stuff, it's coming from me firsthand. I live in the empire, right? So don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong too. I just want to be absolutely clear. This is not the British people. It's not the British nation. It's a criminal financial empire. So when I say the British Empire, I'm actually talking about the Anglo-Dutch Empire, the Venetian Empire. Just to be absolutely clear, so people, they don't know their history, they may not understand. But yeah, it's, this two-party system, and a lot of countries have this issue who have parliamentary systems because it's the party politics rather than individual representatives representing the constituents. We have parties. So, and I know there's advantages to that too, but I'm getting a little bit heavy on the civics here. Sorry, but sort of related. But yeah, okay. So, all right. So the proposal that received the highest votes currently is the BRICS Bridge payment system. So let me bring that up. Bring back up the poll. Oh, hang on. Sorry, got to buttons and buttons. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yes. Okay. Back to the poll. Sorry. A lot of windows. It's not ideal. So I got 75% of the votes. So we did a few videos about this. This one, yes. So it's about 8 months ago, Anastasia, and it was called BRICS Rethinks Global Finance. Is SWIFT now obsolete? Then you did another one about 4 months ago, blockchain and economic sanctions, a glimpse into the future of BRICS. And then there was another one more recent in March, BRICS launches revolutionary raw materials trading platform. That may not seem related, but it actually is. All the content we do is very detailed and highly researched. So I apologize. I'm not sure why the preview is not showing, but it's technical. But I would encourage your audience, definitely look at these videos that we've done. You'll find a lot of information on this topic that I think will be useful. But yeah, what do you think, Anastasia? Why is that the most?
The most popular. As I told that when we are talking about economics, payments, money, this is the topic that touches everyone every day. So that's why we are so interested when it comes to to this stuff. And we know that new BRICS payment system has got a lot of interest because people expect it is something new. So we know that. But and even statistics says that those videos you have shown before, they got more interest from our viewers than other ones.
Oh,
Even when we are talking about politics, when we are talking about culture, sports, but when it comes to talk about money, we are all involved. But but BRICS payment system, it appeared why. So why we started to talk about BRICS payment system. There are enough, exactly. There are enough payment systems in the world. We know SWIFT transactions. We have a lot of banking system. But what? And then suddenly, BRICS payment system. Yes, you are right, because of sanctions. Until when, after the events of February 2022, Russia faced a lot of sanctions, mainly from the European banks. Well, banks, it's not correct. Western system, payment system. So Russia was taken away from SWIFT. So there was a problem among banks to pass the transaction, because SWIFT is controlled by the USA. You know that? And so every transaction is seen and known, who, when, where, what for. So other countries got sanctioned too, because they wanted to continue working with Russia. And so that we came to the discussion of new payment system. Then it was called BRICS payment system, BRICS Bridge, even. Just to allow countries among BRICS alliance to work together and to pass the payments, all financial issues.
Right.
That's what.
Yeah. You know, when you say, by the way, the B-roll running here in the background is actually Kazan. I should have said that before. Sorry. If you didn't realize why we're running, you know, this, and there's Anastasia. But you went to Kazan and showed this. Which is beautiful. You get to see this. But I was going to say on this topic, you know, you said, I'm not dissecting what you're saying particularly, Anastasia, but I just wanted to point out the sanctions. It's in Brussels, right? Belgium. So no, Brussels, Belgium. With the sanctions through. Oh no, that's the European Union, isn't it? That's where that's centered.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I'm sort of going off track a bit, but because you were saying it's a USA, but I just wanted to clarify a little bit. Obviously, SWIFT, from my understanding, SWIFT is controlled through Brussels, but it's USA. Maybe that's, I'm getting mixed up.
SWIFT is in Belgium. But
it's in Belgium, yeah.
It used to be independent until 9/11, when it was told that all that terrorists got financials from, they had been financed. So guys at SWIFT, please open the keys. We should know how, who, when. So that's why Americans got the most seats in administration of that SWIFT.
Oh, right. So you have,
And so
yeah,
they are in control.
gotcha. So anti-money laundering, know your client, these safeguards, that legal framework actually took over. Things we take for granted now, but that actually occurred after 9/11.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very important to know. Oh yes, that's okay. Awesome, thanks. Just the producer is confirming the information because we don't want to give you incorrect information. But I also wanted to clarify. And it's not that I love America, but I wish America would return to its actual origins. Because it's been taken over, and it fought that war of independence, which we just had the 4th of July, and we just had the Trump attempted assassination. So these things are sort of very topical. But sorry, I should read that comment. Sorry, if you want to put that one up, yeah. Top and bottom is the world needs a system that is safe from the theft and any and all manipulation. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly, David.
But
I mean, that makes sense.
We can't talk about, we can't avoid manipulation if we are still trading in US dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
So the main goal we have heard many times is de-dollarization. And without new payment system, it's impossible. It's impossible. So that's why BRICS made its principal goal is to set up new payment system. And if we see the comments in that poll that you have shown before,
yes,
one comment was very interesting, telling that this is important because all the rest in BRICS is based on the payments and the payment system, and that's correct. I agree totally. Yeah. Could you scroll
we had
down?
A few. Sorry. Yeah. No. Yeah, we had a few comments. So I'll just read a few because it was good. This is from, I won't read the name. The payment system. The other options will all heavily rely on the payment system. Without it, the other options will be mostly just talk and words on paper. That's a fair comment. All are important, but payment system is necessary to make it all function. So yeah, same.
Exactly. We cannot talk about new BRICS Grain Exchange if we do not set before payment system, because otherwise, how do you trade? We cannot talk about the Parliament, Assembly, and so on. The basic is economy, trading.
Yeah, and trading. Yeah, it's got to do with the money. Royal Indian said, "I think a parliament structure is first, because don't you need governance over the payment system? So, but the most important, I think, for us to watch is the governance of the union. So after that, they can just pass laws within the union that are binding. And the most important of all is the new BRICS money system. The American and Western money system is crashed and backwards." So yeah, that's very intelligent points there. We just want to move away from the Western hegemony. It looks like someone from Africa there. So, yeah, good comments. And this is why
we see that our audience is involved in the discussion. Yeah, and then the BRICS payment system is important. Why? As I told that the main goal is to leave the US dollar and pass to the national currencies. So all of 10 BRICS nations have their own currency. But how do you trade? For example, Russia and India. If Russia pays for Indian goods, they should pay in rupees. No, in rubles. If India buys something in Russia, they pay in rupees. And vice versa, with China, with Saudi Arabia, and so on. So, but
Yeah.
there is also a challenge in this. Hello from Alaska. Hello, and this is a challenge because the value of any currency is different. Now, how do we do all the exchanges? We see, okay, US dollar, Russia, ruble, US dollar, yuan, US dollar, and so on. To leave away US dollar, we should construct something more, something different. So the idea is to create like a basket of currencies. Then another idea was to issue digital assets. So recently there was an article from the Ministry of Finance of the Russian Federation that talking about they're working on digital assets because it is more simple. If we can show that article, Clive, I sent you today, could you?
No, sorry, I didn't because I had too many things. I didn't, unfortunately.
I see. No, just to show our viewers, maybe if who is interested in, so they could read it by themselves to understand better. Because all that payment stuff, it's not so easy to understand for a normal person who is not involved in this activity.
Yeah, there was quite a few articles.
So, we should say that the first step. We should say that the first step to implement BRICS payments has already done when Russian payment system MIR was connected to Iran's payment system.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting because before you were talking about the MIR payment system, but before you touch on that, because I want you to share that with the audience, I just want to bring up the original form, which is known as BRICS today. The original idea was the Four Powers Agreement. So Lyndon LaRouche proposed the Four Powers Agreement. So it was USA, Russia, China, and India. So these are the most populated countries that would be a bulwark against the oligarchical system. Okay, because that's what we're dealing with. Now, that proposal was to re-implement the Bretton Woods system. So fixed exchange rates. Okay, so you have fixed exchange rates. So currencies were stable. So when they borrowed for long-term projects and development of the physical economy, they could actually do that. So they could plan, know what the costs are. It was feasible. So I just wanted to point that out, that was the original plan. Now we have what is known as BRICS today. So, but yeah, Anastasia, you were talking about how the MIR payment system in this context we had these issues. Could you talk?
Yes, it's just to explain simply. 4 years ago, 4 years. Now we are 2024. Well, it means 2 years ago, before that Ukrainian conflict began. All the world had only two payment circuits well known. That's Visa and MasterCard. The same we did in Russia. I have my banking card with Visa and MasterCard written in the angle. So after the first sanctions arrival, they told Visa and MasterCard doesn't want to work anymore on Russian market. So what does it mean? The banking cards issued in Russian banks with MasterCard and Visa, they should not be active anymore. This was the idea. So the Russians could not use banking cards. But the MasterCard and Visa maybe they have known about it before, I don't know. But me personally, I didn't know that. Even MasterCard and Visa are American ones. When working on the Russian market, they were implemented in our basic circuit system. It's called MIR, M-I-R. So even if Visa decided to go away from our market, the circuit worked without any problem because it was simply implemented on our own system.
Right, so there was a local
that's
system.
Why our banking system remained stable because nothing changed, if we can say that. Right. I can use that my card, even if it's written Visa, in Russian. If I go abroad, I'm not able to pay with this card because for Russians, Visa is blocked. But inside Russia, I can do that because it's connected to our local system the same. So, and
right.
the same problem Iran has. So if years ago, having a MasterCard and Visa card, you may use it all the world around, even if it's issued in Russia, you could go to Australia and pay everything. Now it is not. What the first step that took our central bank, was to implement Russian MIR payment circuit with Iranian circuit. So me having Russian card may go to Iran and pay as if I am Iranian, and vice versa.
Oh, right. Even though it's a local system, but the local system,
they will be interchanged.
So this could be the system that you could use for potentially between the BRICS countries. I mean, they do it between Iran, which has been the recent
That's why I say this is the first step. So for those who doesn't know, that China has its own payment circuit. I do not remember its name. Then India has its payment circuit, not only Visa and MasterCard. Yes, right. India too. It's called RuPay. So next step, if I'm not mistaken, will be with India to have the same interchange. So I may go to India with my MIR card, payment circuit, and pay in India and vice versa.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
So this is for the the basic use for the tourists, for the payments exchange, interbanking, interstate. They will be another level. How it will be implemented, we do not know yet. I hope that at BRICS Summit, they will propose something that is more, I don't know, handy, that we may discuss. There will be some agenda and schedule how to proceed in this way and that way.
I mean, from what you're saying, it sounds like they have a system. They just need to implement it more widely, potentially. So, I mean, if I was an engineer, actually, I'll just read this comment. Project mBridge, because I know this has come up before with the unit, an interoperable bridge currency would be desirable, allowing each country to retain their own currency. I think sort of that is what Anastasia is describing in a way, at least functionally. I'm not sure actually. That's interesting. We need to get someone on, and that's what we try to do on the channel. We try to bring the experts on, and we actually have someone in the pipework who will be able to answer exactly these type of questions in detail. So apologies, Tama, but we will get to that.
The main goal is to keep their own currencies. Russia will continue using rubles, Is MIS a big business identifier code alternative? No, it's like a Visa, but in Russian, like a Visa circuit, like a MasterCard, but Russian version.
Ah, okay, there you go. See, we do have an expert, right? Excellent. I'm glad you're on the show, Anastasia.
Well, we need that. May I read? We need that the BRICS Bank have our own card and money system.
Yes.
Well, what about money system? They were talking a lot and speculating a lot lately about BRICS currency. Who remembers that? Who remembers that?
Gosh.
Who knows that? They were talking and about a lot of videos on YouTube. I seen. New BRICS currency is an arrive. New BRICS currency backed by gold. New BRICS currency backed by oil. But it was clearly stated by the, if I remember well, by the Putin himself, that they do not want to make the BRICS currency until they understand how to work with this currency, because they do not want to repeat the same mistakes European Union did.
Exactly.
When one day they decided, yes, let's have euro all over the country, all over the union, but German economy was the strongest one, and Polish and Spanish. So we know what problems caused the implementation of euro in those countries. And so
because I think it goes against the a lot of the principles of BRICS anyway, because we start using another currency instead of their national currency. It doesn't help the national currencies and their national economies, which is supposed to be sort of the point of BRICS, to develop their country and the general welfare of a nation. So yeah, it doesn't really. Again, I think this is a point about, we talk about issues rather than the principles, and there's a principle such as, which is in the American Declaration of Independence, that the general welfare is a principle, and the government should act in the interest of the general welfare. And then what flows from that are the different issues, but that's the principle. I'm lecturing you, sorry, but I'm just pointing out that's principles. And really, it should be more important. We should discuss about principles and see if representatives actually hold to any principles. Do they even know any principles? If they don't, maybe they're not a very good representative. Anyway.
No. Well, and about BRICS Bank, NDB, New Development Bank.
Yeah.
There was a video of one blogger who told that this is the BRICS Bank, like BRICS Central Bank. This is I'm sorry, it's a bullshit. BRICS has no central bank at all. It cannot
Thank
have.
goodness.
NDB, New Development Bank, yes, it is bank that operates with BRICS countries. One of the goals of this bank is to give loans to the countries in their national currencies, to reduce this percentage of interests that International Monetary Fund would ask for. If it will be easier for countries to pay their interests in their local currencies instead of US dollar or euro.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's not being very successful, and we've tried to give some decent analysis on that. And it has some issues too, around, I think it has like 40% target in green energy projects, which is not a positive thing necessarily. Phoenix says, why has BRICS Bridge got to be compatible with SWIFT? SWIFT is a link to vassal states that are linked to sanctions.
I think
Well,
not to be compatible with SWIFT.
That's interesting.
Otherwise, what for? We need this BRICS bridge if we have SWIFT.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we'll just use BRICS Bridge, right? We won't use SWIFT. That's what
Some years ago there was only SWIFT, and we were happy to use that. All countries, they use that. But then when you are sanctioned, and your partner will be sanctioned for having financial relations with you, what should you do? You should look for an alternative, and BRICS Bridge will be an alternative to SWIFT somehow.
Yeah. See, I wonder, and this is something I wanted to ask experts, is it just an international trade, or like you were just talking about with the MIR system, where it's, that's where maybe the average person or a large, small company is going to be using that for, sort of local trade or maybe cross-border usage. So I wonder, this sort of what scale, but we have to ask experts. I mean, maybe they haven't decided.
Well, we'll see. You are talking about what? About MIR?
Yeah, I mean the difference maybe between MIR, because it seems to me MIR, you would just use MIR, but I'm sure there's a reason. Maybe the scale is different. And when we talk about the BRICS,
exactly, the scale is different because MIR is a payment circuit, banking payment circuit.
Yeah, and then so there's different banks. I think we have this issue. I personally have this suspicion that this is a bit of an issue because we're dealing with central banks, which are, part of the criminal financial empire. And that system, and we're trying to have a system where that's not a part of that. And that's actually maybe part of the distinguishment. Oh, we got another. Lil Abner?
Why didn't BRICS decouple from United Nations, BIS, and SWIFT system?
I suspect because of central banking.
Because the world is multipolar. For example, for Brazil, who is not under sanctions, it's useful that they are using SWIFT with all the rest of the world for trading, for commercial exchange, interbanking exchange. Russia, that is under sanctions and is decoupled. Not that Russia decided to decouple itself from SWIFT. No, it's SWIFT who told, we decouple you from our system so that your banking system will crash.
How rude. Yeah. Well, let me. We're closing on the 1 hour, so let me continue to the next thing. I think I really appreciate your insight there, Anastasia. So not your particular field of linguistics, but certainly you're.
I'm rather rusty, I guess.
Yeah, multi-skilled. So, let me just. Okay, so just so you know, we're independent content creators. Nobody pays us to make these videos. So if you'd like to support our work, you can use YouTube Super Chat, Super Thanks feature, or buy us a coffee. There's a link below if you want to help out. Even a small donation helps us making videos. The Think BRICS social media presence is diverse enough at this stage that depending on your preference, you can subscribe to what you find the most comfortable using. So we have, let me show you here. We have Substack. And it's actually quite rich. I mean, our producer actually pulls from many different sources. And from his experience too, and ours, where we discuss these things. But he puts a lot of effort, and I think you'll really find a lot of value from the Substack. And generally, it's a very good platform actually, because you can actually connect with other Substack writers, and you can actually link between them. I don't know it very well myself, but I would definitely say, subscribe if you'd like to be updated quite regularly with articles and information in this format. Obviously, we're doing a video. This is a visual format. So we're on Telegram too. So this is our Telegram channel. I'm not going into it because it actually shows all my subscriptions. So I'm just showing you the front browser page. But we're there. You'll see the logo. I would really recommend, if you don't want to subscribe to the Substack for whatever reason, the Telegram. If you use Telegram, I'll say again, I've mentioned this before, really in this environment of heavy censorship, and it's only getting worse, Trump's recently been tried to be assassinated. I mean, it's only been getting worse and worse over the last few years. Telegram seems to be like the last resort. And I'm not saying it's immune, but it seems to be like the last thing. So I would suggest that if you don't use it, you probably should try it. It's decent. We are always trying to bring you dependable and trustworthy analysis in all of the content that we publish across our social media channels. To do this, we've been making good progress on expanding our network to partner with organizations that share our integrity and offer real-world value. We recently started working with the BRICS University Association. So let me show you that. I'll just bring that up. Here we are. And we did a video about that recently. So it just says here, we support universities in all aspects of internationalization by sharing expertise and facilitating international academic cooperation, foreign student recruitment, and networking. Now that is very valuable. I know that usually you have these descriptions, what people do, and they're fairly vague, but that is quite accurate. We did a video, we had an interview with Mr. Bogdan Voronovsky, who's a CEO, and Dr. Masam Bakar, the ambassador. And if you haven't seen that, definitely have a look. It was great to hear the inclusion and the reach out to youth, and we need to do that more. As adults, mature adults, we need to leave a positive legacy, especially in this environment. So, but yeah, we're having a partnership with them, and we think that's a very positive thing, particularly with. Just wanted to say, particularly with these guys, because they have access to a very large network of professionals, right? So the universities, there's professors, there's doctors, there's the commercial connections, because as they go through their qualifications and graduation, they need to go into industry. And that's a part of what the BRICS University Association does. But in this context, they're actually doing it with the BRICS countries. So they're aligning with this movement of BRICS. So it's very good, and we hope to cultivate that and bring you very exclusive content and very exclusive people to talk in high detail with a very high understanding and empathy and personal view. So,
and may I add that I was informed just today that in a few weeks there will be opened a registration form for BRICS Summit in Kazan. And I hope we will get that possibility to go there directly on the summit to provide you with the information on site.
Oh, awesome. Wow, there we go. It's all working out. I like it.
Yeah. I hope so.
Hopefully. Oh, I have also the BRICS Development Group is another partner that we hope to soon bring you unique content and opportunities with. I won't go into it here, but you'll start to see as we develop that relationship in that network. All things faring well, we will have a discussion this Friday with Luhan Vaz, Vice President of the BRICS Development Group. So I think you will enjoy that. He's a major jet setter. He gets around. So he will have lots of stories, and we'll do our best to pull that out so that it is good value for you. But if you see here on this website, this is we are the media partner for the BRICS Plus Development Group, and they're featuring us on their website. So I think we've done well in this respect, and
I think we should send them a note to change that we are not 30,000, we are 35, thanks to our subscribers.
That's what we want. Thank you.
35,000 followers. Thank you, all of them. Thank you. All of you.
No, that's great. And we're not professionals. You know, I'm certainly not a professional. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, you can tell. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the Kazan. We'll close off now. Anastasia, thank you.
Thank you, Clive. During this hour, you have seen a lot of pictures of Kazan we made during our visit. And I invite all our viewers one day to visit Russia, to visit Moscow, not only Moscow and St. Petersburg, that our main cities, but also Kazan and other cities that we are not like we are described in Western media. So welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Anastasia. All right, let's close it out here.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to BRICS Briefs. If you've enjoyed this episode and wish to join the conversation even more than you already did, which is fantastic, please comment below. Like and share this episode to spread it as far as possible. You can follow us on our Substack, as mentioned, and other social media platforms, especially our Telegram channel, as I talked about. And that's all linked below. Stay curious, stay connected, stay optimistic. Let's keep exploring together. Paka paka.